Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn. We'll get started. I believe there's about probably 50 or so people that have signed up. So we'll give everybody a little bit of time for the room to fill up. I'll probably repeat this a couple of times while we're getting started, but there is a Q&A function. That is where if you have questions during the presentation, you'll be posting stuff. It's important to use the Q&A instead of the chat because we like to compile the questions that people have so we can make these lunch and learns better and make our communications better. So yeah, we'll let the room slowly fill up, and here probably a little after 12, I'll get started. So looks like we're at about 25, almost 30 people now. So people are slowly joining. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. We're going to be trying to do these lunch and learns on a regular basis. I believe our last one was probably about 2 months ago and had good participation. Hopefully people have been using the research studies website since we initially launched it. And looks like we're about 30 people in the waiting room, or in the Zoom call actually. So we'll give it about 2 or 3 more minutes while people join. If you're just joining us, please, if you have any questions, we'll open up. I'm going to be going through kind of our instruction sheet about how to use the Research Studies website, and then hopefully we'll have some time towards the end for a Q&A session. If you've had any issues with using the site or had any questions regarding the Research Studies website, I'll be talking about that soon. Okay, looks like we're about 35 people. I'll probably get started here in a minute or two. Just waiting for the room to fill up a little bit more. Looks like we had over 50 people register, and people are still filing in, so just give it a couple minutes. I'll get started here probably right at 12:04. I think that gives enough time for people to join in. And most of the documents that I'll be going over, I'll share with the group over email after the lunch and learn is over. So if there's any of these documents you see and you'd like a copy of, we'll be sending them to you. Okay, looks like we almost have 40 people in the room, and it's about 4 after, so I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, my name's Matt Steinbeiss. I work with the Office of Regulatory Compliance. I'm a special projects manager there. Myself and a team have worked on establishing this research studies website, and our main goal is to get everybody to use it. So we'll be showing you some various functionality of the website. And yeah, the lecture is going to be recorded and shared afterwards. So thank you, Janelle. And I'll be going over a question and answer section towards the end. So I'm going to run through kind of what the Research Studies website is and how it can be used. And if you have members of your team that aren't able to join us today, this lecture will be recorded and shared afterwards. So the main thing about this Research Studies website is that it's for you to use, and that it is based primarily off of Encore information. So it serves as a platform to facilitate and manage your operations for clinical research. You can use it to recruit participants for participant research, reach out, and various other functionality that I'll be going through today. It's meant to use for the whole CU Anschutz Research Campus campus community. So it's for everybody, and that, like I said, it's information that you have already put in Encore. There's a couple issues of how these research studies are fed into the website. So I'll go over those, but the main thing is your research study has to be open to accrual. That status has to be marked in Encore for your research study to show up. So that's one of the main things that people don't realize. So I'll be going over that in a little bit. You can edit the website. You can either edit stuff in Encore and it will show up usually the following business day or the following day. And edits to the website don't go back into Encore. So if you make changes in the website, just so you know that Encore will not be changed. And yeah, let's just get started. So I'm going to be going through this instruction sheet. Unfortunately, I can't share both with you at the same time. So as I go through the instruction sheet, I'll make sure that I'll point out stuff and that this instruction sheet will be shared with you. So the main thing is researchstudies.cuanschutz.edu is the main website. How do you get there? And this is the page that research participants will see, people from outside the research community can see. So the main idea is people will easily be able to find the type of studies that they're interested in. Say somebody has a respiratory issue and they want to find something to do with respiratory research. They click on here, everything is listed, and as you can see, some of the titles are a little bit more user-friendly than others. This is something that you can change. I wanted to show how you would go about doing that. And at first of all, I want to show that all changes must be done through Comerb. So Comerb has an advertising components form. This is just the main Comerb forms website on the Comerb website. If you scroll down, there's an advertising components form. If you're going to make any changes to the website, you just have to be sure that they are Comerb approved. And the best way is to fill out this application. And all the fields are on here. So we'll share this when I send stuff out to the email as well after we're done talking. So first of all, if you do make changes, everything has to be Comerb approved. So I'm going to go into a separate area of the website. It is the admin section. So on the instruction sheet, it will show how to get here. But you do have to log in through VPN and through your credentialing to get here. So as you can see, it's a little bit different. This is the schoolofmedicine.ucdenver.edu research studies admin page. And this is how you would go in to make any changes to your study. This is going to look a little bit different to everybody because I have admin rights. So I've got access to pretty much everybody's study. So when you first log in, if you have not made any changes to your study, you'll pretty much just see this top box. And when you scroll down, it will only show the studies you have access to. The studies initially are only given access to editing to the primary contact in Encore. And this is usually your PI, unless you set up your Encore, your study in Encore a little bit differently. So you may need to request your PI login, go to your study. I'm just going to choose this first one. Apologies if this is your study, and add yourself as an editor. This will be your PI. Well, if you are not the primary contact, they will add your name here and click add, and then you will be given the rights to edit your study, and then you'll be able to find your study in this drop-down menu. The studies down here are studies that have been edited. So if you do make changes to a study that you are an editor on, and you can't find it in your drop-down menu, it's probably down here because it's been customized. So just so you know, any edits made, you won't be able to find your study here. It will be down here. So to customize any of the studies, what you do is you either, if you've done any edits down here, you can reach it in this like update button, or you can just select your study and go to customize study. And as this loads, you will see that you'll have to choose the document that you have approval to make changes to this COMERB study. And us and the research team that our admins on the research study website will review this just to make sure that you have submitted an advertising components form. That's the form I was talking about right here. So I am just going to put a dummy form up in here. And then it will let me open this up. So this form will be your COMERB approval form. I'm just putting a dummy form in there for now. So once you have access to the editing function, you'll be able to change the title, the primary objective, the description fields. Almost everything on this website is changeable as long as you have COMERB approval to do so. So if you have COMERB approval to change your study title to something that's a little bit more user-friendly for the wider research community, say something at the 7th grade level, you're able to do that just by going in and changing the verbiage right there. The primary objective can be super important to people, and the description fields as well. This is all stuff that you can add to a 6th grade reading level as long as you have COMERB approval to do so, just by going in and typing whatever you want. I'm not going to change this because this is actually somebody's study that I'm in. You can change categories as well. Usually when you set up your study in Encore, you do select a category, but it looks like none was selected for this. So these are the categories that are selectable in the Research Studies website, and that will make it so they can find, any user can find it via these categories here. It also, when you choose a category, it chooses a default image for you. So I'm actually going to go in and say cancer for this one, and then choose a default image. Oh, sorry, choose a category image. And normally it would choose a list of images that are cancer specific. It's not doing it for me right now. But you can either choose a more specific image instead of this default Anschutz campus. There's, I think, about 4 or 5 images per subcategory that you can choose. And you can also choose to upload your own image, again, as long as it is COMERB approved. You can also choose a subcategory. So in here, some of these categories do have subcategories, some don't, so it's not going to show up on all the categories here, but you can choose multiple categories. Say you have a main category is cancer, but say it's an eye cancer, you could choose cancer here, eye over here, and both of those would show up. But your images will only be your main category. So if you select cancer as your main category, you will only have category images for cancer. You will not have category images for subcategories. Going down to Principal Investigator, this Principal Investigator is listed from cudoctors.com. There, it's just directly linked to your PI. If your PI does not have a cudoctors.com profile, this is going to be blank, and you will be able to upload a new image if you would like. But the best way to go about this is just have your PI fill out a CU Docs profile, and then it's just good to have. Yeah, I'll get to the Q&A in a little bit here. There's also an opportunity to add a REDCap link. If you do have a REDCap link available for your study, you can link it here. Just make sure that if your participant needs to be consented first, this is probably not the best place to put it. If it's a REDCap link just to kind of get participant information for contacting them or other information, this is a great place to put it. But again, just make sure you're not putting stuff here that needs to be done after consent, because a lot of people that will be using this are not consented to your study. Additional fields, so we collect additional information from your participants or about your participants. Say if this is a pediatric study, you can put 0 to 18. You can put any of the compensation information, and you can put the social media links, again, as long as it is COMERB approved. And then you can attach any files. And then once you're done editing, you are confirming that all these are in the COMERB IRB policy, the constants does not describe risks or benefits, etc., and submit this. And then once this is submitted, a reviewer should review it, usually within 1 to 2 business days. I'm going to pause here to check out the Q&As, and I'll go over some stuff as we continue. The reference sheet, which the fields and encore poll. Yes, so in the instructions, we'll cover this, but the encore information is just the information here. So the title, the primary objectives, the description fields can all be put into encore. And once your study is in encore approved and open to accrual, it just automatically comes through. So can you repeat how do you get to the first page link to begin this process? So this is in the instruction sheet as well. Let me open the instruction sheet so you guys can see it. Just 1 second. Okay. So in the instruction sheet, there's a link to the website. So just going to this SOMUC Denver Research Studies will get you directly to this editing page, and then you can edit from there. It's a good thing just to star and have in your bookmarks if you're going to be going in. Hopefully you'll be using this website quite a bit. So yeah, I'm going to be providing an instruction sheet, which I am kind of reading over on the opposite page to everybody after the lunch and learn is done. So thank you for those questions. So we've gone through going through and editing the possible categories, changing your picture, changing your PI's image, and updating it if they do not have a cudoctors.com, adding links, etc. I'm going to put this information as well, but there is a website email address that you can ask questions after this this webinar is over. It's researchstudies@cuanschutz.edu. Let me see if I can put it up in chat. I'm going to put this in chat. Oh, it looks like we have some chat messages as well. If you could put your questions into the Q&A instead of chat. We are trying to compile all the questions, and chat isn't saved as well as the Q&A is. So I'll go over these questions in chat, but please just make sure you're using the Q&A as well. The first question is chat is, if we have had a specific image approved for social media advertisements and already approved information, can we use that, or does this protocol need to specify advertising through Encore? It just needs to be IRB approved through that form that I said. So as long as you have a form that states that the image is approved through COMERB, you can use that image. If our study information was ported from Encore to researchstudies.edu, do we need to update it with information on the advertising components form? I might need a little bit more information about that question. So you have stuff in Encore that has been approved and it's automatically been fed through to the research studies. It should be fine. You only need to submit that you have this form if you're going in to edit stuff directly through the research studies editing portal. I hope that makes sense. If that didn't make sense, just add your question to Q&A as well. Okay, I think everything's been covered. I'm going to go back to some instructions, and then we can continue to put stuff into Q&A, and hopefully in the last 10 minutes we'll be able to cover some more studies. So I don't want to cover participant data as well. So when a participant goes into the research studies website, say they're interested in an iStudy, they will click on, oh, this sounds like something I'd be used to, learn more, and then oh, this study looks like it's for me, there's a let's get started button. So the participants, the possible subjects, the possible participants can fill out their name, information, and contact info. And this information will be sent to you if you are listed as a user or as a primary contact in Encore or in the research studies website. So the participant fills out this information. You can actually go and find this information later. It's in the, oops, I need to get up here. Sorry guys. There we go. It's in the participant data field. So I can look into my studies and look at the participant information, and I can actually download this to an Excel document. So I can track how many participants are interested by age, by ethnicity, by gender, etc., and what their count is by study. And then if I want to go in and do it study by study, and it looks a little weird because I'm an admin, so I've got access to every study that's in here. But if you just have a couple studies, it's a lot easier to look at and a lot easier to see this information and go into the Excel spreadsheet and look into how many participants in Weld County am I getting, how many participants in Colorado, and it's broken down by these specific descriptions. So just make sure you guys are looking for this participant data information up above here, and this information will be included in the instruction sheet as well. There's new information in Q&A. How much traffic does the site get? Any metrics for how effective the site is? For example, how many people on average have submitted a contact form per study? So it's hundreds right now. We do have metric data that we get from Google Analytics, which we may be able to share at a later date. I don't have that information, but the website is fairly new. It was just created and started to be shared widely within the last year. So the reason we want you guys as researchers, the research community, to increase your use and interaction with this website is so we can get wider use by not only the research community, by possible subjects, not just in Colorado, nationwide. So it is a continuously burgeoning resource for not only research study staff on campus, but hopefully research participants throughout the country, as well as a recruiting tool for people that are interested in joining the research community on campus, say postdocs or people that want to do research. We want that to be a valuable resource for them as well. Let's see. The next question is, the website advertised posted in other areas of the university across all campuses. So the website is usable for all the campus, so it's usable for CHCO, UC Health, and any other public health research that's going on campus. We are continuously trying to get the word out, so you could definitely help advertise this amongst your colleagues. And by doing stuff like this Lunch and Learn and sending this out in newsletters and stuff, we are continuously trying to increase participation and knowledge that this website exists. It's something we're continuously working on. So definitely could use your help getting information about this out. And we're continuously trying to get the word out on our end via these Lunch and Learns and newsletters and advertisements throughout campus. So yeah, I know I went through that really quickly, and I shared my the email and chat for questions after. So researchstudies@cuanschutz.edu. Feel free to email that email address at any time, and we'll follow up as soon as we can to answer your questions. I think the big things are I'll be sending out the instruction sheet to everybody, as well as some more information that you can use to upload and edit stuff for your study. But most of the confusion about this research studies website comes from that there is nobody in between the encore information and this study being posted on this website. So if you have a study in encore, it's marked as open to accrual, and there's also a checkbox that says exclude from web. If that checkbox is not checked, then your study will show up on this site. So if you've clicked on exclude from website, that means that the feed will not include your study, as well as if your study is not open to accrual. If it's previous to that, or if your study is closed, we will not be able to see your study on this website. We are working on a separate section of this website to include closed studies and to include information from the studies about what was found from your study, somewhat like what's being put on researchstudies.gov. Oh, sorry, clinicalresearch.gov. Yes, Emma, I just asked a question. If your study closes to accrual on Encore, the website will automatically take it off. So we're currently working on a section for closed studies, but it's not up yet. It should probably be up in the next month or two, probably by the end of the year, and it will be a separate section. So you go to this research studies. There'll be open to accrual studies, or I'm not sure how we're going to call it, probably something different, closed studies, and how I get started. And then hopefully, like I said, research findings can be included in the synopsis of your study once it's closed, kind of to continue the research loop so people know that research here at CU Anschutz is being done, and interesting findings are being included in helping that the research participants are actually helping close the research circle and having scientific information found from their participation, sorry. So we have about 2 minutes left. I know this was a really quick lunch and learn. I want to thank everybody for joining. Looks like we have about 40 people in the room right now. So if you have any questions, I'm going to hang out for a couple more minutes, and then just make sure to bookmark the research studies at cuanschutz.edu website, as well as the research studies at cuanschutz.edu email address that you can ask questions at any time. And again, thank you for your participation in this lunch and learn. And if you have any questions, just feel free to put them in the Q&A, and I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. I'll check chat as well. There might be some stuff. Okay, good. Yes, the anonymous attendee will be sending out the instruction manual shortly after the lunch and learn. And Lily Berman as well. Yes, the instruction sheet and some more information will be sent out shortly after, as well as this Zoom will be recorded and shared, probably on one of the research websites, the CU Anschutz websites after we're done processing the video. Okay, it looks like the room's slowly emptying out. If you have any questions, please let me know through the Q&A. The recording's too big to send over email, so we unfortunately can't send it directly to people. We'll be posting it on our website, but we can send out the link to the recording as soon as it's processed. It's unfortunately above the megabit range for Outlook, so we're unable to send it to people directly. Okay, yeah, if the remaining participants have questions, just let me know. We'll leave the Zoom call open for another minute or two, but again, thank you for joining, and we'll be reaching out with instruction sheets and link to the video and a bunch of other goodies, probably, if not by the end of the day, by the end of the week.